We're using Apple's new, really cheap software that is a replacement for Lightroom. It's very new software and it's really good. There's just not enough tutorials out there about it. So over here we have Lightroom here, and then we have Apple software, Photomator here, and we're going to get the exact same result to see if we can replace Lightroom. The style we're going for is really smooth and moody. I'm going to use the same approach as I would do in Lightroom to recreate this edit. So highlights down so we can see way back there. Exposure up just to bring everything up. We need to see the whole image. Let's just back off a touch. And then the highlights down because we blew out those highlights, so they need to come down. And then we're going to bring in extra contrast here. And that's because I'll show you the curves. Now I'll explain the curves. We've got this really nice, smooth, faded style here. And you've got to use the sliders in combination with the curves to get this effect. So here we have a real smoothing out curve here. So if we just reset, this is without curves. Now we get this fade. Now there's some corrections we've got to do. And then we're bringing down the mids a lot. So I'll explain maybe a bit further on when it's a bit more obvious what it's doing. And then the color channels just have a simple S curve, but quite a drop to the black area here. So that's gonna give rich contrast to the image. That's why it gets so much, quite a bit darker as well. So as you can see, this is how we get contrast and fade. So this is how we're gonna get that nice fade with a curve like this. So this is fading out the black point, and this is bringing down all the mids here. So if we lift this up, now pretty much the whole image is this brightness here. So if we lift here, we're going to really brighten the image a lot. Okay, so we get this nice softness by doing a curve like this. Now we don't want, so this is, I'm just showing you what is happening here. So if we just put it back to where it was, that's what we want. Something like this. But now we're going to brighten it like in other adjustments, probably with the shadows coming right up, because we don't want to do a crazy curve like before. Now we are now looking really similar, so that curve plays a super big role in smoothing out the image. Okay, so if we reset, smooth, you can see we add some different kind of different colors here with the each color channel, a bit more blue. That's why we get that soft blue. Okay, and then we've got the HSLs here. So we've got some already done. So if we just reset them, you can see off, on. So I just wanted to bring up the saturation of the oranges, the yellows up. Well, no, they're about there, but they needed to be brought towards an orange. You can see how they're a bit more of a yellow in our one. We want them to be more of an orange. And then the greens, there's just a little bit of green here that is definitely quite dim and low brightness. So luminance is the brightness of colors, or it doesn't even say luminance. I'm talking like Lightroom. Now, just really particular to the style is the use of texture to make it gritty. You can see it a little bit. We don't want to do too much of it. So just about there. And we want the softness, so this adds, I think, to this faded style. It really helps. So something like that. Okay, brightness is a funny one. It's not in Lightroom, but I'm just going to bring it down a touch. About there. I'm just going to bring out a lot of these colors by waking up saturation and maybe vibrance down. It gives slightly more of a moodiness to the colors. Yeah, we've covered the HSL here. So just bring out the colors a bit more, removing those yellows a little bit. Now there's quite a bit of warmth in the shadows, I think. So we're just going to grab the shadows and go up. You can see what that's doing. It brings out all the oranges a lot. If we do that, okay, there's just this real obvious brighter patch here in the middle. So we just got this. We've got a brush here. Now this is actually where it gets a bit tricky, because I don't like, if I bring up exposure, see how it's just flat, and if I bring up brightness here, don't like it. Exposure, don't like it. Exposure and contrast, like you still, it's just like it's real faded. We want to look like this, so I am gonna use the curves to do this. So brighten it, but then we need darkness to it as well to get something a little like that. Now we have a lot of green. Let's just cool it off, take out some green by adding purple, and we get something pretty similar now. And then we could just like, we want a bit more of a glow, just a little bump, maybe like that. Okay, so here's before and after. And if we reset it, and then we have to go back to the original layer, before and after, but just to show you, this is what it looks like brightened. Like someone might edit, that's what it might look like without this style, this faded moody style. And then we could fade it out a bit more by bringing down the black point a touch. I don't want to do this too much. You do it too much and it just looks kind of fake and amateur. So I might come back to the curves and just like, well, want it a bit smoother. Yeah, something a bit more like that. These color channels are very important as well, because these are also adding in contrast and color. So we get a bit of our blues up in the highlights, midtones here. I just did the same approach as I would in Lightroom, but in Photomator. So in the course, I might start adding in lessons with Photomator. I love Photomator. The amount of money you save and all the perks you get with it being Apple and the speed, everything is so good on Apple. I just increase that a bit more. Yeah, and maybe one brush just up a bit for the pop there. I think that's a key area of the image that should be brought out.